it's Hannah and welcome back to the Corner of Craft podcast, or welcome if you are new. Come on in, take a seat, pop the kettle on, we're a bit tea obsessed here. This is episode 86 of the Corner of Craft podcast, and this episode is sponsored by Skillshare. Thanks Skillshare, but I'll chat about them in a little bit. I hope that you've all had a lovely January. This month has flown by. Usually January drags, but this one has not dragged. This one has flown by. I've clearly kept myself somewhat busy. For those of you who are new, hello, I'm Hannah. For those who aren't new, my name is also Hannah. If you would like to follow me on social media, links can all be found in the description box below, along with any other information that I think you might need, like the link to the podcast notes. Everything I talk about will be listed in the podcast notes, so if you've missed something, click the link and get filled in on what you may have missed. I am a small business owner. I own the Corner of Craft. I make hand-beaded stitch markers, and I also dye yarn in colours inspired by Dungeons and Dragons under the umbrella Chromatic Yarns. Yeah, hello. It's lovely to have you here, and it's lovely for you to have joined me here today. I hope that you have a cup of tea or coffee. Tea in hand and a project on lap, or if I'm keeping you company while you do other things like household chores, hey, keep going, you've got this, you're doing an amazing job. I'm in a slightly different location today. I am filming from upstairs, the craft room / office area. Mario is home today and I didn't want to kick him out the living room, feels a bit mean, so I'm upstairs in front of the stash. So yes, before I get too much further into the podcast, let's take a minute to talk about our sponsor, Skillshare. Many thanks to Skillshare for once again sponsoring this podcast, and thank you to all of you who have made the most of the offer and have encouraged Skillshare to come back to me. I appreciate it so much, and yeah, I love it. For those of you who are unaware, Skillshare is an online-based learning community for those of us who are crafty and creative. There are thousands of classes in a wide variety of topics. I tend to favour the more lifestyle ones personally, but there are also loads of crafty topics if that is something that you are more interested in, like macrame or jewellery making. There's also a load of knitting and crochet classes, so if you want to learn a skill like brioche or ferrule or colourwork or anything like that, there are classes there for you. There are some there that hold your hand and walk you through the projects themselves, and then some that are just little snippets, and so you can pick and choose as you go. The great thing about Skillshare is their search function. You can filter things by difficulty, so if you're not completely new to something, you can skip the beginner classes and choose something closer to intermediate or advanced, so you're not relearning things that you already know. I love that feature. I think it's a great feature. Like I said, I tend to be choosing more the lifestyle classes. I already have time-consuming hobbies and my business is quite time-consuming, so I try to choose classes that help me find that balance between work and life, because sometimes that is a difficult class. I am going to highlight the class that I talked about last month, because I finished it now. And it has been incredibly helpful. I mentioned in the last podcast how in 2021 I felt like I was just kind of churning stuff out and going through the motions with my business, and this class has really encouraged me and basically given me the confidence to change my business slightly in some aspects. I mean, the framework is still there. I'm just not churning stuff out. I'm not feeling so much like a factory. That makes sense. The class in question is Finding Fulfillment, Using Pivots to Power Your Creative Career by Emma Gannon, and she knows what she's talking about. It has been incredibly helpful, and like I say, even if I haven't done every single thing that she mentioned, it's given me the confidence to change some aspects of it. For example, bringing in the Patreon, doing pre-orders on yarn instead of just putting stuff in the shop and hoping it sells, and things that it's just little things that are making everything a bit more exciting again, doing collection, things like that, you know? There's a fantastic aspect to the Skillshare classes themselves in that you can give and get feedback. There are projects and assignments and they're listed underneath the classes, so you can do your little bit of homework or work as you're watching it and submit it and get feedback on that. Also, there are reviews and discussions and all sorts of things like that, so you can check out the reviews, see if it's the kind of thing that you want, and then take it or find someone else who is more suited to your learning style. There's new classes popping up all the time and fab workshops as well, so you're never going to get bored of content. Skillshare have been so generous to offer the first 1,000 of my subscribers 1 month free trial to their Skillshare Premium membership. You can get so much learning done in that time. So click the link in the top pinned comment or in the description box below to snag your spot. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. It truly means a lot to me. And yeah, let's get back to the knitting, shall we? Okay, before we get back to the knitting, we're back to the tea. Now, I don't know if you can see this tea. It is very pink. Bird and Blend sent me a little tea care package on Saturday, and I'm very thankful for it. It's got some of their new flavours in it as well. They're Valentine's Day ones, but they also put some of their pancake teas in. One of them being strawberry Nutella, which is my absolute fave. And I might be picking up another bag of that on Pancake Day. I believe they usually go on sale. I'll double check. Anyway, this is one of their Valentine's teas, and it's a new flavour for this year. It's Whole Lot of Love, and it's a pink. It's pink tea. It's very exciting. It's got rainbow sprinkles in it, which obviously dissolve in contact with hot water because they're made of sugar. And even though it's a fruit tea, it says it can be had with or without milk because it's also got cocoa shells in it. So I haven't tried it yet. But there's a whole lot of strawberries, freeze-dried strawberries, and there's, I believe, cherries and stuff like that. Anyway, I'll pop a link in the description box. Oh, excuse me. Had a swig of water. I'll pop a link in the description box if you want to treat yourself. But I'm excited to try it. Oh, that's really tasty. Please excuse the tiny slurp. That's so tasty. It's, Mario won't like this, it's almost melon-like, but in like a strawberry sense. So I believe there's apple in it as well. I suppose I could get the link up really, couldn't I, and read what's in it. Apple pieces, rosehip, beetroot, sprinkles, orange peel, cocoa shells, freeze-dried strawberry, and natural flavouring. So I was, in fact, wrong about the cherry aspect of it, but it's really tasty. I don't know why it tastes like melon, but it does, and I really like it. Delightful. I'm gonna chug that, so I'm not gonna put that back up there because that's not gonna last very long. I made it a little bit ago. So it's a perfect drinking temperature because it's quite chilly up here. What I am wearing today is, I'll pop the lipstick I'm wearing in the description box if anyone is interested. I don't know why you would be, but I often get questions, so I thought that I would. I've got Tiny Sunshine Shop earrings. I have my Fluff Nugget on, patterned by Becky Sorensen. This is knit out of 3 skeins of my Chromatic Yarns Fluffy Lace held together. It's my own hand-dyed yarn in the Potion of Heroism colourway, which is the colourway that I dyed for the tie that my mum knit for my dad for my wedding day. Because, yeah, Mario had a hand-knit tie, 2 best men had hand-knit ties, the usher had a hand-knit tie, my dad also had a hand-knit tie. So I made Mario's tie, and my mum made all the other ties, but they were all my hand-dyed yarn, and it was very exciting, very nice, and I like it. And then I have a Bourbon t-shirt on, which I had wet hair this morning and it dripped on my Bourbon, and I'm worried that I've already ruined it, so we'll just cover this up like that, and then ta-da! That's by Lucy Teacup. I'll put pop links where relevant. But yes, for those interested, Fluff Nugget, I love it. It's a complete brioche cardigan. I already want to make another one. I say already, I finished it quite a while ago, but I've worn it loads. I've worn it way more than I thought I would. And it's not designed out of mohair, it's designed out of a pencil roving, but I wanted to use my own yarn and I don't dye pencil roving. So Becky also swatched in mohair, and so we gave it a whirl. The only thing I actually got gauge using the recommended needle size, which is unheard of with Becky's patterns because I always have to go, sorry, bubble wrap. I always have to go down to, I'm going to pop that in there because I'm just going to keep wanting to pop it, down to needle sizes. But yeah, I actually had to use gauge. It was great. The only thing I had to change was, instead of every few rows to pick up around the edge, I had to do every single row. And that's okay for the button band. But it was a really fun knit, and it's knit bottom up, 3 needle cast off, you got some short rows to do, and yeah, it's just a very wearable cardigan. I do actually have a finished object technically, but I have a bit of a quandary with it. So in all my jumper knitting, I always talk about how I have gorilla arms, because I have quite long arms. I often have to add length to the arms of jumpers. This is one jumper where I did not add any length to. I usually have to add about 1 inch of length, but I didn't actually have to. And I finished this quite a long time ago, but it's been sat on the side because I fell out with it. Because I tried it on. The body's a little short, that's fine. It was intentional, I can block it out. That was the plan, because I didn't want it super long like a tunic. But the sleeves are already really long, and I don't know if I want that or if I'm going to unpick it, because I don't know if I'm going to like pick it back to here and re-knit the cuff. I don't know. So I need to retry it on and decide. But this is the Trilogy jumper. This is by This Bird Knits, Annie Haas. And it's knit out of Chromatic Yarn Sturdy DK in Unarmoured Defense, which is an undyed yarn. And held together with mohair. This is a very mohair heavy episode. Pre-warning. In the Reenie colourway, which I have a skein for here. Ta-da, this is what it looked like. So this jumper used 4 skeins of DK and 2 skeins of mohair, which is mad. I think I knit the 48-inch bust, maybe 44. Can't quite remember, but that's okay. And yeah, I need to block it out, but it was a really fun knit and it's a really fun ribbing. I just need to decide if I want to take the sleeves out and re-knit them shorter, or if I will wear them super long. Considering I'm a person who tends to roll my sleeves up, except for in this, because I cannot because of the cast off. As I'm usually a person who rolls my sleeves up, I feel like I need to shorten the sleeves a little bit. Because I don't want to block it and then I won't be able to block the sleeves at all. I have to block the sleeves wide to make it shorter. I don't know. I need to try it on again. Stand and look in the mirror and reassess if I look ridiculous or not. Because, yeah, I've not sewn in any ends. I've just finished it, folded it up and put it on the side to contemplate my life choices. But, yeah. It's technically finished, but might need tweaking. Because I've not worn it yet, so that might tell you something about it. I forgot to say, my mug is from Silver Spot Ceramics, the fantastic Emma. I love her mugs. I only have 2 of them, but I use them a whole lot, except for over Christmas, because I don't have a festive one from her yet. Right. So now we're moving on to whips. We've got quite a few whips. I'll start with it, while we're on jumpers, I'll start with this one. I'm knitting a flax by Tin Can Knits. I'm knitting a flax for my friend's toddler. And I started this at my parents' house because I went to see them in the first week of January, which is when the podcast went up, which means you haven't seen this yet, fun fact. Yeah, and I knit the body in the cinema when we went to see Spider-Man. Very good. Much recommend. Very much enjoyed it. One of the better Spider-Man films I have seen. Yes, so I got very carried away in an extra inch or so on the body, so it's going to be quite long on the body, but it's meant to fit like a 3 to 4 year old, so I can afford to block it out a bit. I have started the sleeve and have promptly abandoned the sleeve, but I better get back to it and knit it quite quickly because babies grow. I am using King Cole Forest Recycled Aran. One of these balls was left over from Mario's single malt jumper, and then the other ball I just had. So this is in the colourway Red Bray Wood, and it's really fun, very affordable ball of yarn. It's only £3.50 a ball from Knit Nottingham, which is where I bought mine. 35% wool, 20% acrylic, 20% polyamide, and 25% viscose. It's machine washable, just don't tumble dry or iron it. Obviously there's acrylic in it. You don't really want to use hot things with acrylic. We won't get into the crochet drama on TikTok where someone was selling pot holders made from acrylic yarn. Keldram. Anyway, I would love to get into the crafty drama side of TikTok more. Not actively be in the drama, but just, you know, sit on the outside and see what's happening, because I'm very nosy. Something I used to love about working with other people is the workplace drama that surrounded it, and the little stories that people would come in and say, and it was amazing and I loved it. Now I work by myself for myself. I have no workplace drama, so... you know, I can't live vicariously through other people's drama. Very frustrating. But anyway, unrelated. Yes, I have picked up the sleeve. And I just need to sit and knit it, basically. And then I've got another sleeve to go. But it's very, very nice. I feel like he's going to wear it a lot. But yeah, I just need to knit and finish it. I don't know why I'm trying to like hold it over my chest like it's meant to fit me. It's not meant to fit me. This could never. Yes, very excited. And yeah, I knitted the 3 to 4 size because every jumper that I've knit this boy so far has been too small for him. So I thought, you know what? We're going to knit it too big. Just got to knit the sleeves. Yes, that is living in the Little Grey Girl project bag, the sushi bag. She has lots of bags out. She's going to be at Unravel next weekend. Yes, she's going to be at Unravel next weekend, and highly recommend if you are going, check her out. She's also started to do yarn, which is really cool, but I love her drawstring bags. They are a bit of a luxury, they're not the cheapest thing in the world, but I use them all the time and I love them, and she's got such fun fabrics. Anyway, moving on to, I guess, my Advent knit. This bag is by the Little Blue Robin. I've got my little Mighty 9 pin badges on it. My Druid Magic bag. I've put quite a lot of work in on this. I have. I wanted it done by now, but I cast on a new thing instead. If you watched the vlog on Friday, then you already would have seen what I am talking about. But I have been knitting on the calico quilt shawl, a good chunk. This is knit out of my Chromatic Yarns advent calendar. I'm on day 18. I'm on day 18, I think. I'm a good chunk of the way through it. I wasn't sure if I liked it for a good chunk of time, but I actually really do. I love how random and all over the place it is, and how it's not planned. Well, it is planned because I'm knitting them on in the days in the order, but I'm also very much enjoying seeing these yarns knit up because some of them I hadn't seen. Day 20 is coming up soon and I love this colourway. I'm going to try to, I have a scrambled voice note of this colourway in my phone. So I'm going to try and dye it up again and see if I can do it and take it to East Anglia Yarn Festival. This is Naiad, and it's my favourite colourway from the whole Advent calendar. The Christmas Day skein is a close second. This was the last colourway that I dyed for the mini skeins, and I love it. Anyway, yes, day 18. It's a bit awkward. There's no sewing together, you just knit as you go. It says to like sew the ends in as you go, but something that I haven't done this because I don't actually mind sewing in ends, but something I have found is that when you're picking up a new colourway, sometimes you get a little hole in the join, and if I were to have sewn in all my ends, then I wouldn't be able to sew up the hole. But yeah, I can hear pigeons on the roof. Yes, the calico quilt shawl, it's a great use for your Advent minis. If you're not like me, you can lay them out and make sure that there aren't two similar colours or two clashing colours close together. For example, I don't think I would have put these two next to each other, but you know what? I'm doing it in the order that the Advent dictated, and so it shall be done. Also, these are quite close together. But yes, My calico quilt shawl. I've still got my Father Christmas stitch marker on it to mark the right side. Super cute. Right, back in the project bag. I like having little project bag danglies off of my project bag. Maybe I need to start making some danglies. For example, this one from Green Lambkin. I like it very much, having a little dangly on the side. It's just fun. But maybe I need to make project bag charms. But I also have this dangly on the side, which is from Holly Hartfelt that I got from the Wool Monty. The little bumblebee. I love it. But I have to tuck them in because the cats attack them. Because of course they do. Right. While I've got this bag, I may as well move on with this project. This is another The Little Grey Girl project bag. Wizards. Bought this at Edinburgh Yarn Festival in 2019. I cast on a new shawl. There's a small tale of woe associated with this shawl, and it all happened last night. Okay, so I cast on, this is the Slice of Light shawl. This is by Susanna Sommer, Sosu Knits, if you will. And I cast it on using some of my, or two of my new colourways from my Resistances collection. So up here we have Charm Resistance on mohair, fluffy lace and merino sock. And then here, we have Poison Resistance. Very exciting. So today is Monday, which is when I'm recording this. I have ploughed through this part of it. And I had a good old chunk of this done. I was very excited. Because I wanted a good chunk done so I could show you what the colourway looked like. You may notice there is not a good chunk done anymore. And I will tell you for why. I got to the end of the row and went to do my little increase and thought, this is weird. This isn't ended on one that it was meant to have ended on. Why does this look weird? So I tried to fix it. Could I work it out? No, I could not. So I started to tink back. Tinky, 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 tink. And so it took ages because there's quite a lot of stitches on here. More than there currently is. So I tinked back quite a way. Then in the kitchen, I hear... So I thought, oh dear God, we've trapped a bub in a cupboard. Bub being one of the cats. We have a cupboard that goes quite deep, and then you can go behind the sink and out the other side. By you, I mean the cats. I cannot. But they love having cupboard time. And so I was really worried that we'd shut the cat in the cupboard and she was pouring to come out. So I quickly put my knitting down and went to run. And I've got charm bracelets on, and one of the silly charms on my charm bracelet got caught on one of the brioche stitches and pulled it. It was like out here, and I'm not even exaggerating. And I tried to fix it for a while. I couldn't fix it for a while. The bub, by the way, absolutely fine. Pouring to get in the cupboard, not to get out the cupboard. Ridiculous. But yeah, I tried to fix it and couldn't, so just took the needles out and ripped it out. Frogged the whole thing. I know. 4 hours of work, gone in a flash. So then I picked up all the stitches again and then did the first setup row of the brioche and realised I've ended on the wrong stitch. Found that I'd actually knit 2 stitches next to each other instead of doing the slip-on yarn over like you're meant to. So then put a stitch marker in and went to bed and thought, you know what, I'll handle that in the morning. And so I have. I handled it this morning and added a couple of extra rows. So you can kind of see what the colourway looks like, but at the same time, not really. The Resistances collection pre-order is now closed, and thank you so much to everyone who has ordered. Hopefully I've started dyeing, or at least I've made a plan. We shall see, but hopefully I've started to do some yarn dyeing for this collection, because you have blown me away with how excited you've all been about it. I really, really appreciate it. Anyway, yes. This is the Slice of Light shawl, like I said. It's really fun knit, actually. You start from a tiny corner down here, and then you knit an increase, and then you start doing like quite a wide rib. And then when you get to the last bit, then you pick up stitches down the side. See, behold my picked up stitches. And now you're working in a V. And this is not on a long enough cable, so I can't actually properly show you it. But hopefully by the next time I see you, it will be finished, because I want this to be a show sample for East Anglia Yarn Festival, and that's at the end of March. So, yes. This is so squishy though. I've never used my mohair base and my merino base together. And, oh, it's very soft. Very soft. I am enjoying knitting this, other than yesterday's small mishap. I know. Right. The final whip is living in my Busy Bees GB D&D bag. These are D&D socks, so you're not going to see a whole lot of progress on these from month to month, because we play D&D once a fortnight. This is, I believe, in the colourway like Unicorn Bath or something. It's by Hey J Yarn. And the colourway is not on it, but I bought it from Buxton Wool Gathering. It's 4-ply sock yarn, 25% superwash merino, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 425 metres per 100 grams. I will double check with Hannah what the name of the yarn is. But it's really fun and colourful. I will say that quite a lot of the blue comes off on my hands as I'm knitting it, or the turquoisey colour comes off. But that is the nature of blue yarn sometimes. It's just, it reacts with the oils in your hands. But it's really fun and really colourful. We are playing the Beyond the Witchlight game, which is the new book that came out. It's set in a carnival, so I thought that this very apt. And then I have this mini skein, which I believe is from Georgie of the Fibre Fox, to be used as a contrast heel and potentially toe. We shall see, because I think that will be fun. But yes, this will only be knit on during D&D, so you might not see a whole lot of progress. Also, my wool winder really got on my wick, and I was pulling from the centre because I love a centre pull, and it got so caught and everything, so I had to snip it and pull from the outside midway through the game. So how annoying. Now I've got an extra 2 ends to sew in. But yes, such is life. These things happen sometimes, and my wool winder is a pain in the arse most of the time. But yeah, they're really fun and really colourful. I should take a picture of them with some of my dice at some point. But yes, D&D knitting. And yeah, that's all she wrote for everything that I'm currently knitting. Now we're going to move on to acquisitions. So I got these just before Christmas, and I completely forgot to show you, because I put them in a drawer to get them away from the cats, and then I forgot that I'd put them in the drawer until I went in the drawer. The fantastic Selena of Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co., who has just started a podcast. I'll pop a link in the show notes. She's just posted her first episode, and it's really good. So you kind of have to go check her out, subscribe. She's lovely. She is a Brit living in Norway. Don't know if she's got Norwegian citizenship, but she lives in Norway. She sent me some yarn. This is the Eld, and this is on her yak sock base, which is 70% merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon. Blech. And then this is her Suri alpaca base, which I don't know what this is made up of, but dyed also in the Eld colourway. And this was part of her Hibernation House sock kits. So she sent me the pattern as well. So you've got a fun cuff of fluff, if you will, and then the foot is slightly patterned as well. And this is a pattern by Lindsay Fowler. And you also get the Hearth and Home socks in that. And I think this was just a limited pre-order that Selena did, or a limited run. I don't believe she has them available anymore. Please feel free to go and ask if that is something that you think you'd be interested in. She's just released a collection herself based on the His Dark Materials books. Beautiful colourways. But yes, the Eld. Lovely. And this is so soft. So squishy. So I'm excited to cast these on and have some nice fuzzy socks. Yes, thanks Selena. The other thing that I had was meant to come before Christmas. Or before my last podcast, but the delivery notice got buried beneath Mario's gazebo. Yep. And I had to pay customs on it, which is kind of annoying, but such is life. Well, I say such is life. I'll get into that in a second. When I saw that when I saw this bag on Instagram, I knew I had to buy it. This is from Twill and Print, and it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, one of the things that persuaded me to actually buy it is the fact that they are a Canadian-based company, and I knew I wouldn't be charged customs, but it appears that Twill and Print ship through the US, so I had to pay customs. And it's a 100% leather bag that's been hand sewn and handmade, so it wasn't cheap. It was a pricey Christmas present to myself. And yes, I then had to pay substantial customs. But it has a beautiful skein of yarn with these little foliage and the moon, and it's technically a project bag. It's got a little pocket here which you can put whatever, needles or whatever in, and it's got some smaller, thinner pockets as well. It's all in black, so you can't see it, and it comes with a nice long strap. We were meant to go to the pub on Sunday, but decided not to go, so I was going to take it then and was very excited, but I haven't been anywhere to use it, so I'm just going to use it as a normal bag that I happen to have a sock in to knit. But yes, Twill and Print. I think it was just a limited run, but I couldn't resist. I don't often treat myself to things like that. It's not something that I do a whole lot, so it felt quite lavish, but I love it, so I regret nothing. And now we're moving on to shop news. Thank you so much to everyone who shopped the most recent shop update, which happened Saturday last week. The Resistances collection went live and sold like hotcakes. I've never done like a pre-order collection like that before, so I didn't know what it was going to be like, and I have been blown away and truly, truly appreciate it. I now have my work cut out for me because I need to dye all of them up, along with yarn for East Anglia Yarn Festival. Like I say, that's happening at the end of March, so I won't be having a shop update in February and March. Hopefully I'll be back in April. I'll be back at least with advent calendars in April, that's for sure. But yes, I've got a lot to make for East Anglia Yarn Festival. Stitch markers alone, let alone I have 0 yarn in stock, so I need to dye all of that. I'm quite stressed. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but hey, isn't that the fun of life? Now would be a really bad time to catch the illness that's going around and has been for the past 3 years. In terms of life news, January has been relatively quiet. We haven't been up to a whole lot. Mario's business has had a bit of a slower month in terms of there's been no markets on because nobody really wants to go to a market in January apparently. So he's had consistent deliveries, but he hasn't had any of the markets that we've kind of got used to doing every weekend. They start back up this month, which is very exciting, and I'm sure he's looking forward to it. But he has been working on some new recipes, so I've got to try some of those. Mario's a baker. He owns his own bakery, for those who are unaware. He bakes out of a unit and sells at markets and out the back of his van and things like that. As for me, I've met up with my friends a couple of times and that's been really nice. We've started playing Dungeons and Dragons again and that's been really, really nice. I am playing a halfling rogue whose name is Mimosa Fizzbuck, because a mimosa is Buck's Fizz. Orange juice and champagne, or orange juice and fizz. So I thought that Mimosa Fizzbuck works really well. She's a little halfling and she likes to pick pockets. It's very fun. I've never played a rogue before, so I'm excited to dive in and get more into character with that, because the first game was really difficult to basically switch off Ellen, who was my old character, who was a Furbog druid with very low charisma. So instead of knowing what to say, she would just say a lot, and it was very difficult to switch that off because I got very good at, when explaining to people, saying quite a lot in quite a short space of time. I don't know. Yes, but that's fine. Yeah, really enjoying that. And we were all playing very different characters to who we've usually played. We've got a couple of new people playing And yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. And I'm glad that we're getting back into it after so much time off. Yeah. And it's nice to play in person again. Oh, we hadn't played in person since pre-pandemic, which is a really long time ago now. So it's been really nice to have people around and whatnot. Let me guess, a cat's going to come up now. I've recorded this whole podcast with no cat, and now a cat is going to come up probably. Anyway, other than that, there's not a whole lot coming up for next month either, I don't think. Nothing of great significance. Oh, January, went down to see my parents and met up with a couple of my friends there. Had a really lovely time. Had like a second Christmas almost. But yeah, that's basically it. I forgot that I recorded that before I went down to see them. So, I am going to love you and leave you because my foot is dead and my camera battery is flashing and it's going to switch off any second. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. I post a new podcast every month and a new video once a week on a Friday. Please join the Patreon if you want a bonus video. That would be lovely. Join the Biscuit Brew crew. Biscuits. I would love that. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, links can all be found in the description box below. Leave me a comment, let me know what you've been up to this month. I love to hear from you. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye! Oh, it's so stressful doing that quickly.